These males are the troop leaders. They hold all the power here. Joining them is every young male's ambition. To be accepted into this elite is the path to privilege, but it's a dangerous journey. The youngster decides to follow. At first, he has enough sense to keep his distance. These males are twice his size. The low-ranking chimps retreat before the troop leaders arrive at the waterhole. Dominant males have a highly stressful life as they constantly squabble to protect their position. The youngster can't take his eyes off them. This is his chance to get himself noticed. If he can impress even one of the big males with a show of strength, he might just be accepted into their ranks. His best attempt at a macho display has certainly caught their attention. But they are not impressed. In fact, this drumming means they're getting rather angry. And they attack. The youngster is not quick enough. He gets a short, sharp lesson about how hard it can be to break into this close-knit gang. He's lucky to escape with just an injured hand. For the moment, he's neither big enough nor strong enough to be taken seriously by the troop leaders. Without status, he will never enjoy the privileges of the best food or the attention of females.
A couple of days later, I can't believe the pack's luck. A herd of muskox are grazing in our valley.
They are huge. Now that is one animal I'm scared of, and they've got a bad attitude towards anything that looks like a predator. Right, I'm not too happy about this because the muskox are coming straight towards me.
I'm in a very dangerous position, trapped between the wolves and their prey.
Now, this could get interesting. How's this going to play out? It looks like they're going to cross right over towards the wolves. It's crazy.
muskox pose a danger to the pups.
The wolves are up on their feet. They're heading right up towards the wolves. Holy mackerel. Now these wolves are going to have to spring into action. My God. I really like, God, these wolves are super cool.
My wolves are hungry, but this is a big herd. The pack are outnumbered 2 to 1.
It's not often that a meal comes straight towards a wolf, but that's what seems to have happened here. Now the wolves have to really think carefully whether this is worth it, whether they stand a chance. Oh, she's making a go for it.
Luna and Romulus lead the charge.
They're going for it. They're going for the muskox. They're going for the muskox. Jesus, sit panicking amongst the herd. They don't want them to get them up on the hill because they'll lose them on the flat. Oh my God, this is unbelievable.
The muskox have regained the advantage.
2 massive bulls, about 10 females. Maybe they don't stand a chance. Crikey.
A huge bull senses their desperation. In the confusion, the herd make a break,
Oh my word.
with Luna and Romulus in pursuit.
That was exciting.
A lone Grevy's zebra. He weighs close to half a ton and could go for 3 days without drinking. Like the macaques, his forebears were refugees from the advancing Sahara. The land is scrubby and dry. But this stallion has claimed it as his own. He's been waiting months for visitors. Female visitors. If they like his territory, they might stay a while. It's his first chance to mate for a very long time. Hardly a success. Perhaps his visitors are looking for a more impressive partner. There's another setback. The females were being followed, a posse of young males, everyone a rival. It's time to separate the men from the boys. One by one, the stallion sees them off. The females had ringside seats, and his prowess has not gone unnoted. Machismo gives way to tenderness. Around here, you have to take every opportunity, be it for food, for water, or for mates. Female grevies are a fickle bunch. The herd have decided to move on. All of them. The stallion may never see them again, but there's a chance that one is now carrying his foal. Losing its fear of humans has enabled one animal to spread into cities everywhere and in huge numbers. Pigeons are by far the most successful urban bird. Here in Albi in the south of France, the pigeons come to the river to bathe. They need to preen their flight feathers, clean off the city dust, and cool themselves down. In wait. A predator that has taken advantage of the very thing that has led to the pigeon's success. Their lack of fear. As the pigeons bathe, oil from their plumage flows downstream and is detected. Monstrous Wells catfish. Introduced here just 40 years ago, they have proliferated, virtually exterminated the local fish stocks, and they've now developed a taste for pigeon. Their eyesight is poor, so they use their barbels to sense the movements of their victims. This is a radical new hunting strategy for what is normally a bottom-dwelling fish.
Mojo lacks the confidence of his intrepid neighbours. And not only that, his energy levels are at an all-time low. It's been days since he last ate. And as the rainy season wears on, food is scarcer than ever. But Nyota is determined and extremely patient. She spends hours watching and stalking potential prey. She even memorizes every warthog den on her patch. Eventually, her patience pays off. Another warthog, this time a huge male with deadly tusks. She needs to get close before she attacks. The bushes provide the perfect cover. Mission accomplished. Now she must protect her kill. The boar is as big as she is. It takes all her strength to drag it into cover. It's slow and exhausting work. A hidden island is the perfect place to defend her kill. She calls Moja in to feast. After the meal, a rare opportunity for Mum and her cub to relax.
Gila woodpeckers nest in holes they've drilled in the trunks of giant cacti. Cactus wrens and thrashers like to build their nests among as many spines as possible to protect their chicks. They're all waiting to cash in on the cactus bee gold rush. For just a few days, thousands of bees emerge from the ground to mate. Males fight for females, resulting in chaotic mating balls. Food for everyone. But where to start? So many to choose from. birds use all sorts of different tactics to snare as many bees as they can. A long bill certainly helps. To succeed in this desert, you must always be ready to seize the moment. And why share? In a matter of hours, thousands of bees are caught to fuel the next generation.
Sailfish, 3 meters long, are closing in on prey. They will only use just enough energy to make their kill, never wasting a fin stroke. Nearly 100 sailfish have surrounded a single school of baitfish. It's very rare to see so many of these hunters in one place. To herd their prey, the predators raise their huge dorsal fins. A mistimed strike by one sailfish could fatally damage another, but each continually changes its color from blue to striped to black. That warns its companions of its intentions and also confuses the prey. As the shoal is driven nearer the surface, it comes within the range of the seabirds. Out here in the open ocean, there is nowhere for the baitfish to hide. Sailfish live a high-octane life. To survive, they must find prey daily. So their entire existence will be spent on the move. Thirsty elephants often race into pools, but the matriarch knows that her family must not rush in. This pool is stagnant, and the elephants have a trick that deals with that. Sediment settles to the bottom, and the cleaner, fresher water lies on the surface. They skim it carefully from the top. Then, as gently as elephants can, they move forward slowly, trying not to disturb the stagnant layers. But precious water like this draws in herds from far and wide. In the exuberance of a greeting, all their careful work is undone. When bulls are forced together by the need for water, tempers can flare.
With little competition and few predators, they grew to enormous proportions. Today, New Zealand's trout can reach lengths of almost 1 meter and weigh up to 5 kilos. These prize fish have monstrous appetites and surprisingly bloodthirsty tastes. So some fly fishermen opt for something a little more substantial. Here, the insect imitations have been replaced with fluffy imitation mice. House mice first arrived in New Zealand as stowaways on European boats. This youngster is looking for his next meal. But first, he'll have to run a gauntlet. For mouse or man, opportunities come to those who take them. New Zealand is a modern paradise for newcomers from around the world.
A Sally Lightfoot crab. One of thousands of shore crabs just waiting for their moment. Every day they gather on the tropical shores of Brazil, waiting for the tide to go out. Which exposes their feeding grounds. Seaweed-covered rocks 100 meters from the shore. Getting there is a race against the tide. They leap from rock to rock. These crabs seem to be afraid of the water. And for good reason. a moray eel. The chain moray is a specialist crab hunter. Its blunt teeth can easily grip and crush a crab's shell. It's the crab's deadliest enemy. But the crab's feeding grounds are still a long way off. They must press on. Halfway. But their enemy has other ideas. Crossing the land. To reset the ambush. To feed, the crabs must keep going. But nowhere is safe. An octopus, also a crab killer. The crabs make a dash for it. Made it. Risking life and limb to graze on these seaweed pastures. But in 2 hours' time, when the tide starts to turn, they will have to run the gauntlet all over again. Back in the Australian rainforest, this weaver ant fortress sits at the heart of a rich territory. Hunting parties go out to gather food to fuel their growing numbers. Some canopy caterpillars are not killed, but farmed by the ants. They exude a sugary secretion that the ants collect. In return, the ants mount a guard to protect the caterpillar wherever it goes. But a successful colony inevitably attracts enemies. This jumping spider's body shape resembles that of an ant. A disguise good enough to fool these nursery guards. It's after one of the colony's most valuable assets, the grubs. In a colony numbering tens of thousands, a single grub is an insignificant loss. But the rich territory of a successful colony draws more destructive enemies. Raiders from a neighbouring weaver ant colony looking to expand their own empire. Invaders are quickly spotted. The guard releases pheromones to alert the rest of the colony. They stream out of the nest to defend their home. If the home defences fail, the colony will be wiped out. Some of the defenders deploy their most potent weapon. They squirt formic acid. The stinging liquid halts the invaders in their tracks. And now the home guard can go on the offensive. Home and territory are secure once again. A colony may lose many workers in defense of its home, but their sacrifice helps safeguard the next generation.
It's now midsummer, and the sun is shining at full strength. The increasing warmth is the cue for an Atlantic lobster to start on a long journey. She spent the winter 250 meters down, far beyond the reach of the storms. But it was cold down there, and now she needs to find warmer water, so she's marching towards the shallows. They, however, are 150 kilometers away. After a month of walking, she finally arrives at her favourite sandbank. But she's not the first here. Dozens of other lobsters have already dug themselves homes in the sand, and they don't intend to surrender them to newcomers. Size counts for everything in these battles. The new arrival is in urgent need of a pit, and since she weighs a hefty 7 kilos, she stands a good chance of getting one. She's won. These battles continue for the next 2 months, and they're crucial, for the females must have both shelter and warm water if they're to raise their young. For the last 7 months, each of these females has been carrying around about 20,000 fertilized eggs, but their task is approaching its end. The warmth of the shallows is speeding the egg's development. 2 more months and the eggs are ready to hatch. At first, they're not very good at swimming. But within a few minutes, the babies are able to set off in a purposeful way.
Danger past. And that's just as well. Because he is a father. And he's guarding some very precious eggs. For the last few weeks, females, one after the other, have visited him and entrusted him with their offspring. Some are now almost ready to hatch. There are several clutches on the leaf, and those at the top, the most recently laid, are barely a day old. But in the jungle, there's always someone out to get you. This wasp is a specialist hunter of frogs' eggs. It's noticed the wriggling tadpoles at the bottom of the leaf. He mustn't move. The youngest eggs are the most vulnerable, and he can't guard them all. But these tadpoles are not as helpless as they might appear. Incredibly, the unhatched tadpoles can sense danger, and the oldest and strongest wriggle free and drop into the stream below. The eggs at the top of the leaf, however, are still too young to hatch. And now the wasps know they're there. But the male's back looks very like the youngest cluster of eggs. And that seems to confuse the wasps. Using his own body as a decoy is a huge risk. The wasp's stings could kill him. He's managed to save most of his young. He'll have to remain on guard for another 2 weeks. But in the jungle, just surviving the day can count as a success. This is one of them.
From the purposeful way in which he's walking, it's clear that the search for prey has started. The other members of the team are not far away. They've been steadily following the monkeys for about 20 minutes, looking for an opportunity.
The technique they'll almost certainly use is that one of them will be driving the colobus ahead of him. Then there will be others that go up on either side who are the blockers, who won't make any attempt to catch the monkeys. And then there are chasers who go and grab at the monkey if they can. And finally, there's one male who will go up ahead and ambush it, so bringing the whole trap closed.
The monkeys are now getting alarmed. A driver's going up to prevent the group from settling and to drive them towards an area where they're more easily trapped.
That's one of the blockers that's now quietly come ahead of the colobus. He's halfway up the tree now.
He's deliberately making himself conspicuous.
Now it looks as though they're all in position. The driver's gone up, the blockers have gone up, and now the one who's going to make the ambush and close the ring, he's gone up too. The colobus will be very lucky if they escape now.
They've got one. The hunters are tearing it apart. Everyone, the hunters in the trees and the spectators on the ground, are screaming with excitement. And now the kill is brought down so that the females and others can share it.
And there's the reward for that long chase. The divided body of a colobus monkey. These blood-stained faces may well horrify us, but we might also see in them the face of our long-distant hunting ancestors. And if we are appalled by that mob violence and bloodlust, we might also see in that too, perhaps, the origins of the teamwork that have, in the end, brought human beings many of their greatest triumphs.
In only a few months' time, the water here will cease to flow. 8,000 square kilometers of swamp will dry and disappear. And all the hippos of the Okavango will face real hardship. Water is the hippo's sanctuary. It keeps them cool in the baking heat and provides the vegetation on which they depend. And safety away from predators. But with all of this slowly evaporating, everyone will need to be prepared.
The calf is now several weeks old and has built up his strength. It's time for him to meet the family. Returning to the pod with a new baby is inevitably risky. A mother has to re-establish that she's a member of the pod. And in the excitement, a clumsy adult could crush her calf. The dominant bull is right in her path. If she stands her ground with him, half her battle could be won. But the real problem comes from an unexpected place. Her previous calf is showing an unhealthy interest. She's battle-scarred and appears to have a quarrelsome nature. Jealousy or curiosity? Whichever it is, it's dangerous. Her calf is far too young to be pushed around like this. He's frightened and stays close to his mother. This has turned into an attack, and the mother must put a stop to it. The pair remain on the periphery of the pod. But the rest of the family can still hear them. Hippos are thought to be the closest living relatives of whales. And they too make most of their vocalizations underwater. Their head and jawbones capture vibrations and transmit them directly into the ear. Vibrations become sound. And in these quiet waters, these can carry up to a mile. They're setting off on the greatest overland trek made by any animal. But wherever grass eaters travel, predators lie in wait. Here they are, Arctic wolves. They must seize their chance while the caribou pass through their territory. The wolf runs at the herd, trying to flash out the weak or the slow. A calf is separated. At full tilt, 60 kilometers an hour, the wolf is just faster. Has stamina. Only a few weeks old, and this calf's will to survive is remarkable. And it needs to be, for these young caribou have now started a journey that will last a lifetime. Forever chasing the seasonal growth of the grass on which they depend. Like all grassland creatures, they are at the mercy of these unpredictable but ultimately bountiful lands. Grass can survive some of the harshest conditions on Earth: flood, fire and frost, and still flourish. So it is that grasslands provide a stage for the greatest gatherings of wildlife on planet Earth. St. Andrew's Beach is one of the most crowded on the planet, and so holding a territory here is a constant battle. This bull elephant seal holds the mating rights to 60 females. For 2 months, he's guarded this stretch of beach. Unable to feed, he's losing 10 kilos a day. And he's exhausted. But other bulls are lying around, waiting their chance. blubber 15 centimeters thick is protection against the cold, but not from the impact of a 4-ton opponent. He holds his ground and forces the intruder back out to sea. Life in the Antarctic is harsh indeed. But all these creatures come here because the Southern Ocean is one of the richest on Earth.